Welcome back, little bro. If you're watching this video, it's probably been an entire year of no contact for you and for your ex. Now, I want to make this video primarily about one thing, and that is a woman's ability to sense subconsciously or consciously an emotional anniversary or an emotional event. Women track them, even in their subconscious. They know when it's been an entire year since you spoke. They knew back when it was an entire week, when it was a month, when it was 3 months, when it was 6 months, when it was a year. Those thoughts are in the back of her head. I would bet 100% every single woman notices these things. It's been an entire year since I've heard from him. It's been an entire week since I've heard from him. It's been an entire month since I've heard from him. It doesn't matter. Around these times, these emotional anniversaries, is when the spike for her to reach out will increase a little bit, just like it is with you. If you're honest with yourself sitting there and you're saying to yourself, yeah, it's almost been a month, if it's almost been 6 months, it's almost been a year since we've heard from each other, you know that. And you feel the same feeling she is, which is, wow, I haven't heard from them in X amount of time. And you feel that subtle pull that says, reach out. Because I know you feel it. And you better believe she feels that too. Even if she's within a new relationship, even if she's preoccupied, all that other stuff, and even if it's been a year later. Having said that, as your older bro, by this time, if she has not reached out, okay, it's not to say she never will, because I got news for you. If you guys ended on unfinished business, on a bad term, on anything like that, and you've gone true no contact, then the odds of her reaching out eventually, whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I've had an ex reach out to me 9 years later, okay? I am telling you, they always reach out somehow, some way. Y'all will get back in touch. And look, by that time, as it was with me, I didn't want anything to do with that. And the thing is, I screwed up that relationship. Don't get me wrong, that was not her fault. I screwed up that relationship. And when she reached out to me, I still politely declined because my heart was no longer there. I no longer wanted to be part of that situation. And whether or not you agree with me and you say, okay, well, that was a mean thing to do, the point is you'll be in that situation too. Whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, the odds of somebody literally never talking to you again that you used to have a bond with, and especially an emotional bond with, are very low. If she's made it a year, she's obviously been in at least one relationship since then, and she might still be in the same one. You do not wish her ill, you wish her well, right? Don't reach out like that. Just in your mind, you need to bury that relationship, you need to bury those feelings, because if you're still holding on after a year, and I pray that you're not, and it's not, I'm not saying holding on to hope, holding on to her. That's what I mean by holding on, okay? You can hold out to the hope that she will eventually message you because you're probably right. Like, odds are high, you're still right. She eventually reaches out to you somehow, some way. But holding on to her, like when she comes back, she's gonna fall in love with you again, or when she comes back, she's going to be the same girl that she was whenever you guys left, it's just not feasible. It's not gonna happen. I'm here to tell you right now, as your older bro, it's not gonna happen. You are both going to be completely different people. Hopefully, if you've done things right, you're going to be completely different people than you were in that past relationship. And what people find out is that when exes reach back out to them and they want to reconnect and they even give it a go, is that if you're the same people that you were in the past relationship, it's going to fail. If you have grown, if you are both better, then you stand a much better chance. And if you're still holding on to her or the idea that she was, you're never going to let her grow. And you're never going to let yourself grow. How is she feeling? She has probably gotten over your relationship. Not to say that she's gotten over you, not to say that she doesn't still feel some level of not just friendliness, but some level of a bond with you. And by bond, I do mean an emotional attachment is very low. She probably still feels that, even if things ended badly. Like I said, the only difference between ending a relationship badly and cleanly is the amount of time you have to go no contact. So if you screwed things up royal, like I did with my ex, and I mean I screwed up bad. I screwed up so bad, I hesitate to even make a video about it because it was so psychotic and so overwhelming that I was 17, 18 years old, had a lot of mental health issues back then. And I had to grow as a person because I shouldn't be in a relationship with anybody when I was handling all of this nonsense. And it took a lot of work on my end to be the person that I am today. And I'm telling you that when she reached back out, I was not the same man that I was back then. I was not the same needy little boy who couldn't go a day without texting her, who blew up her phone because she didn't get back to me within an hour. And I had to go through all that to learn how to actually treat a woman, how to actually treat myself. And all of that, if you let it, if you acknowledge it first off, if you will let it change you, it will, and it will change you for the better. You've got to be working on yourself, not just in the gym, but emotionally as well. You've got to be stronger than this. So you shouldn't really be worried about how she's feeling. Yes, there is still, odds are, an emotional bond between you. No, it is not strong. No, it is not flaming in her soul, right? But it's still there. And if you want my honest opinion, I think that if two people truly love each other, that bond will never die. It may decrease, sure, but I don't think those bonds ever really go away. And I think people still feel them 10, 20, 30, 40 years later when they eventually see them again or something like that. I think they feel that. And they know they're not the right person. And they know that they're not the same person they were. But there's still that little bond there that when they look into their eyes, when you look into her eyes, when she looks into yours, and you can still see that other person, even though everything on the outside has changed, you still see that person. That's that bond that you know has been there that entire time. And odds are, if you're both adults, you don't act on it. You're both happy with somebody else, and that's great. You part ways, but you can kind of sense that. And that's the closure that you get. And even if you never get that, you need to rest in the fact that you did everything that you could do. That you were the man that you could possibly be, the best man that you could possibly be in the moment. And you let her go, and maybe that was the hardest thing for you to do. But like I said, you don't have to let go of the hope that she reaches out to you again, that you at least get closure. You don't have to let that go at all because like I said, odds are exes reach back out, like even if it's been years later. And I'm telling you, it feels hopeless, but it's not hopeless. What is she thinking? Well, as you could probably imagine, she doesn't think about you much. Now, a memory, a song probably sparks your memory in her mind, sure. But you see, what happens is in a healthy relationship. So at the year mark, we're no longer dealing with anything that is, or usually not dealing with anything that's toxic, or dealing with an affair, or dealing with a rebound. At the year mark, you can safely assume that the relationship that she's in is healthy. Now, maybe she jumps from guy to guy to guy to guy to guy to guy to guy, but okay, that's not healthy. And some women can do that, and that's not the majority of women. But moving on from that one, aside from that situation, she's probably in a happy, healthy relationship with this guy. You do not wish them anything other than peace, other than prosperity. But just know, yes, there's still a bond there. And if things die out between them, like I said, most relationships end. Even if they're healthy, even if they're long-term, they still end. And when that does, she is likely to reach back out to you again. So like I said, nothing about this is hopeless. You do need to let go of her, but you don't need to let go of the hope that one day she reaches out because that is still very much possible. What should you be doing? You should be working on yourself. The man that you are right now should be totally different from the man you were a year ago. And what a lot of guys do is they get their heart broken and they start to treat women badly. They treat every woman after that as disposable because, yeah, you're gonna leave me anyway, so whatever. If you allow yourself to become that person, to become the villain, you're gonna live a very lonely life. You're gonna live a life that blames women. You're gonna live a life that doesn't take responsibility for your actions. And you're gonna live a life that eventually leads to ruin because you simply refuse to acknowledge your part in your own life. A year later, you should still be in the gym. You should still be working out. You should be looking buff as hail, all right? Buff as hail. You should be richer. Your net worth should definitely be increasing year by year. If it's not, you're doing something wrong. All of those changes make you look attractive, especially to your exes. So if they ever reach out, and there is still a chance they reach out, like I said, they do, even if it's years and years and years later, as long as you let her go. You're living your life. You're moving forward without her. There's nothing wrong with holding on to the hope that one day she reaches out and you guys at least get closure. And here's the deal, and I can tell you this from experience. Sometimes when a woman reaches out and they ask for closure and you give it to them, you end up by the end of the night giving it to them, if you know what I mean. So if a woman ever asks for closure, you just nod your head, smile and wave, boys, smile and wave, okay? Because closure to her is just her reasoning, her excuse to reach out to you. So sure, we can get closure. How about we meet at, the steakhouse at 8 p.m.? She's like, okay, sure. It's like, you're getting more than closure that night, buddy boy. But anyway, this is going to be the last video in the no contact series. Not because no contact shouldn't last a year. And some guys think that, I guess, after a year I could reach out. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. If you decide to do that, what it's going to tell her is the exact same message it would tell her at the 1 month mark, at the 1 week mark, at the 3 month mark, at whatever mark it is that if I wait this amount of time, whether it's a week, a month, a year, you will eventually reach back out. And she knows that now. That's why you can never reach back out. That's why she has to understand that unless she initiates contact with you again, she will never hear from you. And you've got to stand by that. As a man, I know it's hard, even if it's been a year, you've got to let her go. All that being said, lil bro, if you've made it this far, you've got this. You are emotionally strong, you are emotionally centered, much more so than you were when you started watching these videos and probably a year ago when you were the man that was broken up with. Lil bro, you got this, I've got you.